Hi students, so here is a quick demo on how to draw from your grid on your iPad to your image on your paper. The first step you want to take is look for your extra space. I have a really skinny little extra space over here and I don't want to use that. And then I have a space down here that is a little smaller in my grid and I want to make sure that I put that in a space that won't really matter. So instead of having this at the top, I'm going to make sure it's at the bottom because it'll coincide with the little weird space on the bottom and I can just fake it. And I also am not going to use it if it's out here on this outer edge of my picture. So I'm going to label my squares on my paper the same as they're labeled on the original. So I start in the corner. This is A, B, G, and H. And then I'm starting up here 1 through 11. And when I'm finished with my drawing, I want all my grid squares to be gone and I want the piece to look, oops, I want the piece to look complete. Okay, so I'm right-handed. My hand will rest on the paper, so I should put something underneath my hand and I can use the paper I used earlier. I'm going to draw what I see in each box one at a time because I have this imprint of a cat everywhere. I'm going to draw what I see in one box at a time, so I'm going to zoom in on just box A1. If I want to, with my iPad in Notability, I can draw little smaller squares in here to help me find the middle. Even if it's a simple section, if you want to do this, you can. And then on my paper, I'll do the exact same things. And when I draw the shape, I see it goes from here to here. And I always suggest that you draw and shade in your image one box at a time so it's done. You can always go back and make adjustments to it, but it helps to see its actual form when it's drawn one at a time. So my next box, I would do the same thing. You can work across your image or you can work down row by row. I typically go column by column. So my next box would be this one. And I could extend these lines and do the same thing here to make sure I'm centered. And then across here, I'll draw the same thing in this box. And I would continue one little section at a time. You can also screenshot this and put it in your photos, which makes sure, it kind of allows you not to change anything. But you're just drawing what you see and you're paying attention to the negative space. So I'm looking at where does the image touch, where does it travel? And if my negative spaces are correct, then my positive spaces are correct. So I can see that and I'm paying attention to all of these parts.